What's up, everybody? James Bushell here, and I'm back at you with another video. Today's video should be pretty interesting. I'm starting a new segment on my channel called Did You Know? In this show, I will be discussing interesting changes from the book to the show. This show's geared more towards show watchers. For you to learn some interesting facts about your favorite characters that you might not know because you haven't read the books. And maybe this will encourage you to read them, so you get more backstory or a different perspective on your favorite characters that you know and love. So, starting first, the first fact I have is going to be about the Baratheon bastards. Now, you people that enjoy the show know Gendry, of course. Robert's bastard that was apprenticed under Thabo Mott, escaped King's Landing with Arya, eventually got his blood taken at Dragonstone, and yeah, now we don't know exactly where he's been. He's been rowing for like 3 seasons, but in the books, there's 2 other prominent bastards of Robert Baratheon, Maya Stone and Edric Storm. It's interesting that the show does not have these characters. Essentially, Gendry, when he was at Dragonstone, that was kind of Edric Storm's role, though it didn't even happen that way, really. Davos put himself on the line and helped him escape, like he did with Gendry, but in a different manner. That being said, Maya Stone is in the Eyrie, still alive, and Edric Storm escaped Dragonstone and was on his way to the Free Cities. One thing interesting tidbit here is that Robert Baratheon conceived Edric Storm on Stannis' wedding night in his bed with his wife's cousin. So yeah, we wonder why Stannis has a little brother complex. Maybe because his big brother was a gay. Okay, number 2, the Davos Shireen relationship. Now, we've over 6 seasons got to develop this beautiful relationship between Davos and Shireen. Well, you probably didn't know that in the books they don't have any dialogue together. They do not have a relationship whatsoever. It's actually a change that actually worked in the show that I thought was maybe better than the books, because it really was heartwarming, but it had more emotional punch when we got to the end of Shireen. So, yeah, Davos and Shireen relationship non-existent in the book. Number 3, the dynamic between Jaime and Tyrion's relationship really shifted in the end of Season 4 when Tyrion escaped and killed Tywin. But you probably didn't know that Jaime did help Tyrion escape in the books. But Jaime also told the truth about Tyrion's ex-wife, Tysha. The truth is that she really did love him. Because it was briefly mentioned in Season 1, they didn't bring it up once again, but essentially, Tyrion has this complex because he had a wife when he was really young who they loved each other, but Jaime told him the lie that she was a whore that was, paid off by Tywin. But it came to the realization, Jaime told him that she was real, she was genuine, their love was genuine, and then just fueled so much anger and hatred inside of Tyrion, and they have an animosity between them after they split. This is non-existent in the show. It'll be interesting to see how it turns out, but there you go. Number 4 is Bronn's insignificance in the books. Yes, he helps Tyrion in the Eyrie, and yeah, he's kind of his goon essentially, when Tyrion's running King's Landing as the Hand, but he really only has like approximately about 20 lines of dialogue in the whole books. He's mentioned here and there. He's, especially in like A Feast for Crows, where Cersei is dealing with this issue with the Stokeworths and Bronn. But yeah, Bronn really doesn't really say that much, and he's kind of, he's there. He's kind of insignificant in the long run. But yeah. In the show, he's obviously much more prominent. He has more total screen time than Davos and Stannis, along with other prominent characters that are more featured in the books. But yeah. So there you go, Bronn fans. Your guy's kind of insignificant in the books. 5. You probably didn't know that Sansa's not at Winterfell in the books. and that there's been no indication that that's the case, even that she is going to go there. She might still, but in the book, she's still in the Vale, and she's not being tortured by Ramsay. She is starting to enter into a relationship with Harry the Heir, who's supposed to be the next heir of the Vale. So yeah, that's a difference. Interesting one. But yeah, it has been implied that Harry the Heir is kind of a dick and kind of an asshole, so maybe there is some parallels between Ramsay and him in terms of their treatment of Sansa. We don't know yet. That hasn't got to that point in the books. But there you go. I didn't know that. Number 6. The adventures of the Hound and Arya were much shorter than they were in the show, than they are in the books. They're much shorter. Do you guys remember the one fight where they're at the inn at the crossroads? Arya, Sansa, Sandor, they roll up on Polliver and that crew, the Mountain's Men, and they have a cool fight, and Arya gets needle back and stabs Polliver. That does happen in the books, except that is where Sandor gets injured. So he doesn't have this fight with Brienne. That's where he gets injured. That's where, she ends up leaving him in the woods, assuming that he's going to die. So they stretched that all out a whole season, and it was pretty, I enjoyed their segments on the show. I loved their dynamic, and they had some good conversation, and they had a pretty good fight with Brienne, so I can get behind it, but, for you show watchers, just know that that's more of a show-only type of thing. So yeah. Number 7. Olly is a show creation. Olly is not in the books. Everyone's most hated kid on Game of Thrones, even probably hated more than Joffrey, little Olly. He's not in the books whatsoever. He's a show creation only. Interesting that they made him. They had characters they could have drawn from the books. Nonetheless, I guess he served his purpose. I don't know if he's going to live past this season, but yeah, Olly, show only creation. Number 8. Okay, you guys remember the scene where Jojen Reed, the Reeds, Bran and Hodor, they're outside of Bloodraven's tree and they fight the skeletons. Well, Jojen doesn't die there. He survives that. And in fact, there's a theory, I'm not sure if I subscribe to it or not, called Jojen Paste theory, where Leaf gives Bran this werewood paste, and people think that it's Jojen because he was sick and he has all these premonitions about his death. But yeah, that being said, yeah, he was not killed. He was not stabbed by some skeletons and had a fireball thrown on his body. That did not happen. So, Jojen Reed still alive, but maybe dead in the books. Number 9. The Thenns are not cannibals. Okay, so you guys remember the Thenns. Steer of Thenn, he had that epic fight with Jon Snow with the anvil and the hammer, and Jon Snow ends up hitting him in the head and cracking his skull open, essentially, and yeah, he dies there. And we remember their intro scene where they were eating a crow's hand, a Night's Watch member's hand. Yeah, there are cannibals in the Wildlings groups, but it's not the Thenns. The Thenns aren't cannibals. So it was interesting that they did that. I'm assuming it's because they kind of just wanted to combine all the aspects of the other clans or whatever without actually having to have them in the show. So they just kind of combined them with the Thenns. The Thenns were more of a like a warrior type clan that valued strength and who could win or whatever, who could win in fights and stuff like that. But they didn't eat people. But it is what it is. And then number 10, the last Did You Know of this week is Mance Rayder was a great singer and a renowned warrior. So, I like the actor Ciaran Hinds who played Mance on the show, but can you believe that he was actually a great fighter? Did he have that makeup? Because that's how Mance got so many people on his side, was he was so good and, such a great warrior that he was able to go through all these different clans, challenge their best, and gain their respect after he beat them. I didn't get that from Ciaran Hinds, but it is what it is. And then there's also the fact that Mance Rayder is essentially a bard. He's a great singer. He plays the harp. Yeah. So that didn't happen in the show. Their Mance take was kind of interesting, but it is what it is. So yeah, guys, that's this week's Did You Know? I hope you enjoyed it. I'll try to do one of these every week. Gain some perspective on your favorite characters. So if you like what you saw, hit the like button, share it on social media, and hit subscribe. Until next time, guys. See you later.